Now, to shocking new allegations in the case of an NSA contractor accused of leaking classified information in the Russia investigation. A judge has now denied bail for that Georgia woman after prosecutors claim that she may have been planning to disclose much more. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has more.
I want to burn the White House down. That's what federal prosecutors say 25-year-old NSA contractor Reality Winner wrote in a notebook before she was arrested and accused of leaking classified information to an online news site. Federal agents are investigating whether she may have stolen more secrets, including some on a missing flash drive prosecutors say she inserted into a top-secret computer. The judge citing that as one of the reasons he denied her bail. The government also claims that during a recorded conversation in jail with her mother, Winner said, "Mom, those documents, I screwed up." Documents, plural.
I do have a hard time believing it.
Earlier this week, her mother described Winner as an Air Force veteran and a yoga instructor.
My biggest fear at this time is that they will try to make an example of her.
But she was in tears in a Georgia courtroom as prosecutors said her daughter had two faces, showing a desire to travel to the Middle East to meet Taliban and al-Qaeda leaders, accessing the dark web, and setting up a burner email account to send messages undetected. In another phone conversation, they say Winner told her sister that she would cry in court and play the pretty white cute card. Winner has pleaded not guilty. Her lawyers say the government is making a mountain out of a molehill. If convicted, she faces up to 10 years in prison. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, Augusta, Georgia.
I want to bring in now Claire Finkelstein, Director of the Center of Ethics and the Rule of Law at the University of Pennsylvania and Law Professor at the University of Pennsylvania. Thank you for your time, Claire. As we look into this, and we know that the leaking of, absolutely, we delve into this. What can you tell us as far as the leaking of this document and what it tells us about what Russians were trying to do?
Well, it looks as though it was a very incautious attempt to bring information to the American public about the Russian effort to disrupt the 2016 election. There's reason to think at this point that she may have actually used a thumb drive based on her own communications, that she may have more documents, and that what she revealed is a widespread attempt on the part of the Russians not only to influence our election through the dissemination of fake news, also through hacking into DNC emails to embarrass Democrats and Hillary Clinton in particular, but actually to penetrate into our election registration software, which is what this is about.
And given that, how serious of a security breach is that, especially if there are more to come?
It's a very serious situation that's been identified, that's for sure. It would be of grave concern if we learn that, in fact, this was an effort across the board, that the instances we know of or think we know of in Florida, in Illinois, that are being revealed since this NSA report went to The Intercept is very concerning. Russia is a significant threat to democratic institutions across the world, not just in the U.S. We shouldn't regard this as it's over and done with. We have to attend not only to what may be in store for further U.S. elections and democratic institutions more generally, but we have the German elections to worry about.
Right.
We still don't know exactly what happened in the French elections. So this is a very grave concern that she identified, and in that sense, it's a good thing we know about it.
Well, given that, we have a question being posed, hero or traitor, certainly something that we've heard when it comes to Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning, and those comparisons as well. What are the comparisons in your eyes?
Yeah, my answer would be neither. That is, she was incautious, of course, in the way that she communicated this information, obviously not very skilled at that, and one can appreciate the fact that we have the information, but that is really speaks more to the fact that there is significant overclassification that we're contending with. And so we see the number of leakers start to rise, I think, in part because there is a concern that there are just too many things being classified at this point. Since 9/11, the amount of classification has expanded significantly. It's very easy to classify a document. Whoever has written the document just writes on it, top secret, and also determines the level of classification. Right. To declassify a document, however, is extremely difficult. And that's a kind of setup for people taking matters into their own hands and starting to disseminate information. We'll see now, at the same time, it has to be said that she made a mistake in the sense that it is not permissible, it is absolutely illegal to leak classified information. So whether this information should have been classified or shouldn't have been classified, she should not be leaking it, and we can't really think of her as a whistleblower because she's not disseminating information that reveals illegal conduct on the part of the agency that she's in or the government on our side.
We'll certainly watch which direction this case takes, and especially with the mother's biggest fear, as we heard, that the government will make an example of her. Claire Finkelstein, thank you so much for being with me this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.